Hi there, Esther Danbury from Bitesize Vocals, and today we're looking at what is tone deaf. Well, tone deaf is an inability to perceive differences between certain things in music. So it could be an inability to tell the difference between two different tones. So when you hear two tones, you think they're the same, but for the majority of listeners, they would know that's different. This can also show up if you're listening to a well-known tune, for example, like Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And if one of the notes was in a different place to normal, the majority of listeners would recognize that and say, oh, there was a note that was not where it usually is. But someone who's truly tone deaf would not be able to tell the difference. They would think it was the same. It also applies in the area of rhythm. It could be that there's a beat that is quicker or slower than it would be normally in a well-known rhythm, and most listeners would hear that and say, oh, that's different to how it is normally in that tune. But somebody who is truly tone deaf would not recognize that difference, and it would sound the same to them. So someone who's truly tone deaf is not hearing differences that the majority of listeners would hear as being different within the world of music. This comes to then affect the ability of singing, because if you can't hear the difference in the first place, how can you produce a difference with your own voice? It's not possible. So that's how it can affect the voice. But the percentage of people who are truly tone deaf in this kind of a way is estimated to be less than 4% of the population, which is a very small amount. So not being able to sing in tune and tone deaf are not necessarily the same thing at all. So if you want to find out if you're tone deaf, that's a separate issue from I can't sing in tune, most probably. And you can look at things in order to determine whether or not you are tone deaf in that way that I described. The medical label for that is called amusica. And so I will also be giving you some videos that you can listen to and find out a bit more about whether you can hear these differences or whether it just sounds the same to you. So that's today's description of what is tone deaf. It's an inability to perceive differences within the realm of music that the majority of listeners would be able to perceive. And it's related to something neurologically, they say, in the brain processing, and it can be from birth or it can come due to something that happens in your life at some point. But mostly it's, in the studies that they've done, it's something that they call congenital amusia that's been existent from birth. I hope that answers your question, what is tone deaf? If you have any more questions about this, then please do comment below, ask me a question, or visit my website, bitesizevocals.com. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks. See you again. Bye.